So for step 32, attaching the stabilizer. Well, we need to grab all of these parts and pieces that we'll need for this step, and you can see there's the stabilizer rod, there's the stabilizer balls, the rubber tubing, the screws, etc. And then of course there are the pieces that we're going to need to attach it to the chassis. But there's also, you can see that with the rubber tubing, they want it to be cut into 4 3mm pieces. So I'm going to have to cut that tube, which I'll do off camera just so I can get the right dimensions easier. And then we'll start putting this all together, and you can see that we're going to need to spin these little stabilizer balls onto the stabilizer bar itself. So anyways, I'll set this up and we'll start putting this together. So let's work on this side first. So you can see that we're going to need this piece right here, and that is going to go into here just like that, and they're showing you that it's got to be bent into place, which, because there's an opening on that side, you can do it. So we will twist. There. So it's naturally going to turn if you do this correctly, because there's enough of an opening on this side that it will allow that movement. So now that that piece is in place, we then take one of the rubber pieces that we cut up, and I've cut them into the 4, stick one onto the end of there, push it all the way through. There we go. Then we've got our stabilizer ball, which they're saying you screw this all the way to the end. And you can see here, MD8, screw fully, then sandwich between the MD10. So once that's on, we've got the rubber tubing on one side, and we grab the other one. Oh, wait 1 second. We will sandwich it, but first we have to put on this piece here. And you can see that the holes are facing that way on this. So we've got to pop that on, which it just can be easily pushed on with your fingers. And then we grab that MD10 tubing and we sandwich it on just like that. So that's essentially what it's going to look like when it's done. So if we make sure that that goes on correctly. There we go. That would be essentially how it's going to look on that side. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So first we need to get this in, turn it so that it will fit, so it's just like that. Then we're going to take the MD10 again, put the tubing on, slide it through, then we're going to grab our MD8 and we're going to screw that on as far as it can go. There we go. Then we pop this on, and again the dots need to be facing in that direction. There we go. And we grab the last of the rubber tubing bits. Whoop. Small and finicky, come on. There we go. There we go. So it's essentially, when it's finished, going to look like that. So now that the stabilizer is complete, we now need to install it on the chassis. Now you'll notice that there's one screw that's going to go into the side and then into the first hole. Well, if you remember when we put in the gearbox, there were 4 parts to the gearbox itself. We attached it to the chassis. Well, now we're going to attach the stabilizer bar to the other part of the gearbox as well, which is just going to hold everything in nice and tight. So if we grab this piece, just so that we've got something to work with, you can see that that is going to fit over top of there. And now a screw is going to go into this hole. I'll move that out of the way for now. And we can screw this in place. Now, I'm not going to screw it in all the way yet because I want to make sure that everything else goes on without any problems. But knowing that that's the case, we are going to do the exact same thing on the other side and make sure that that is all held in place. So I just want to make sure that this is out of the way. Yes. And now we can grab the other screw and we're going to stick that one in there. And we can screw that in place. And this I'm just going to push out of the way for now because we don't need it. Okay, so this one's fine. So I'm going to screw this one in all the way. And we'll do the same with the other side. So that is now attached, and you can see here that we have another screw that's going to go in for the bumper, which we didn't. I'm not sure why, to be honest, they didn't just do this on the other step for 31, because there wasn't really any reason to save this for now. So we'll screw this in so that we can get the other side of the bumper screwed in properly. There we go. So now that that's done, we now have to attach those other ones to those ball connectors. So this is now getting attached to the ball connector. Now I don't know if I can pop this in with, oh, I can. I was surprised. I was thinking I was going to need the pliers to do this, but it looks like the hole is open, is big enough that you can actually pop these on with your fingers. So I'm just going to get my thumb in the right place and push. And there we go. So there is the stabilizer bar attached to the front. Very, very cool. This is really starting to come together. So, okay, step 32 is complete. So now we're going to move on to step 33 and attach the RC equipment.